I'd ask now that you please silence your phones or smartwatches and don't text and drive. I would now like to welcome Dr. Princess Imokwede, Chair of the Department of Bioengineering, for the introduction to the graduation ceremony.
Good morning, esteemed families, faculty, staff, and guests. Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion, both in person and online. Please join me in welcoming our graduates as they proceed into the auditorium. is my very great pleasure to welcome all of you to the 2020, 2021, and 2022 Bioengineering graduation ceremony. You may be seated. I want to extend my warmest congratulations to all those receiving degrees and acknowledge the support that has helped you along the way. Indeed, getting to this stage of your career has taken lots of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. So I say to the family and friends, those of you here today, those of you watching virtually, thank you. Thank you for your unfailing support. Thank you for your encouragement of your graduate. Thank you for the many sacrifices that you made so that your graduate could earn their degree. So now, we'd like to take a minute for our bioengineering graduation tradition. Graduates, please turn and face your family and friends, all those who supported you, near and far, including your own classmates, the faculty and staff, and give them a huge round of applause for all they have done for you. Graduation is our most honored moment of the year. Today we celebrate over 300 graduates from Washington State, across the nation and across the world. Indeed, University of Washington Bioengineering has a commitment to our state and a commitment for global education, training you to share this commitment with careers that have a broad impact. Our graduates have already shown their impact, their dedication to excellence, and their ability to redefine boundaries. Examples of this are our 2022 undergraduates, Lauren Holbrook and Suchira Gopal, as well as PhD graduate Molly Malika. Please stand to be recognized. They won the Husky 100 Awards. The Husky 100 honors outstanding work and achievements of students who are taking full advantage of their time at the University of Washington. You, the graduates, you have shown your commitment to our global community. This is also exemplified in graduating senior Rachel Shee, who was honored with the 2022 Population Health Recognition Award for her efforts in addressing human health, environmental resilience, and social and economic equity. Please stand to be recognized. You, the graduates, you hold yourselves to the highest standards and achieve excellence in all that you do. This is exemplified by undergraduate Isaac Orr, who received the prestigious National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. The fellowship recognizes and supports outstanding graduate students in NSF-supported science, technology, and engineering. And these support students who are pursuing master's and doctoral degrees at accredited United States institutions. Please stand to be recognized. In addition to these recognitions, we have many graduating students who are awarded the Mary Gates Research and Mary Gates Leadership Scholarships. Today is a moment to reflect on how you have spent your time here as the world has changed around us. Beyond grades, education is truly about growth. So today, we recognize your resilience in adapting and growing in this difficult time. Some of you have overcome illness, personal challenges, and losses. Today, we remember those who are not here to celebrate your achievements. I ask that we take a moment to honor these setbacks, sacrifices, and losses. Today is also a day to acknowledge and celebrate your advancement of knowledge and how you have and how you will continue to advance our world. In addition to these student achievements that I've mentioned, I'd also like to announce that the College of Engineering has recognized the outstanding accomplishments of 3 of our department faculty and educators: Soraya Bailey, Assistant Teaching Professor; Susie Pun, Washington Research Foundation Professor; and Alyssa Taylor, Associate Teaching Professor, were awarded the 2022 Faculty Appreciation for Career Education and Training Facet Awards for their support of our students. Please stand to be recognized. As you can see, we have outstanding faculty, and even more so, we have outstanding students. I offer my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you and your families. You should all be very proud of your amazing accomplishments. And now, I ask that all the undergraduate and graduate student candidates get ready to be recognized. Everyone, please join me in congratulating all of our graduates on their many academic as well as personal achievements while in our program. Congratulations to you all. I now have the honor of introducing our very distinguished leader in the biotech industry and the biotech community, our speaker, Dr. Kathy Leach. I recently became acquainted with Kathy and learned that upon completing her PhD at Brown University, she headed west to a postdoc with our department. In the years since her postdoc, Kathy has generously contributed to our department through delivering a number of guest lectures to our students. Like many of our graduates today who are contemplating what pathway to take next, Kathy too wondered what pathway she should embark upon completing her postdoctoral fellowship, whether to stay in academia or to head into industry. Kathy decided to step into industry. Today, Kathy is Vice President and Head of CMC at Arovent Sciences. She brings expertise and leadership to the company's investigational cell and gene therapy products for the treatment of rare diseases. In her role as head of CMC, Kathy leads a team of scientists and engineers in collaboration with 11 contract manufacturing and testing organizations to bring these important therapies through development. She represents the company in intersections with health authorities, including the US Food and Drug Administration and the European Medicines Agency. Kathy brings a wealth of experience to her role at Arovent, having spent approximately 20 years as a scientist and leader in the biotech industry. She started her career as a bench scientist at Immunex, which she was later acquired by Amgen. Kathy progressed to various leadership roles within the quality and process product development during her 15 years of service with the company, and she left Amgen to then join Juno Therapeutics, a Seattle-based cell and gene therapy company. There, Kathy supported the progression of the company's CAR-T products through clinic and towards commercial license. In the fall of 2018, Kathy started an independent consulting company, CMC and Quality Services, LLC. Kathy supports both large and small companies in the cell and gene therapy industry. We are privileged to hear from Kathy today. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Thank you. I'm going to start my remarks with a nod to the Grateful Dead and say, what a long, strange trip it's been. Thank you for inviting me to share this day with you. For the graduating class, today is a day to celebrate a milestone, marking the successful completion of one stage in your life and the excitement of entering the next. For recent alumni, today is a chance for a belated celebration with the people that care about you. For faculty, for family, for friends, it's a special day for so many reasons. I'm honored and humbled to be here in front of you, and to be honest, a little terrified as well. It's not that I'm uncomfortable or afraid of public speaking, but my comfortable version of public speaking usually involves some sort of a slide presentation behind me. One that I've specifically designed to make sure to distract your attention from me. So today, being here in front of you is my answer to the quote that I have on my bathroom mirror at home, which is, "What would I do if I wasn't afraid?" That quote reminds me to listen for that inner voice of doubt. And sometimes you just need to tell it to shut up. It gives me a chance to re-examine what's going on and determine whether my self-doubt is keeping me from doing amazing things, just like this today. And to remind myself that being afraid or doing things that make me uncomfortable is one of the biggest opportunities to learn and grow as a person. So here I am. Be kind to me and ignore this security blanket that I brought with me. Graduations are a time of transition, a time to move from one phase in your life to the next, a time to move away from something that is comfortable and known to something that is new and maybe a little scary. As Princess alluded, my first activity after graduating with my PhD was to come here to the University of Washington in the Department of Bioengineering as a postdoc. So I'm not going to tell you that story because, of course, that couldn't be considered scary at all. You'd have to be crazy to question that move. Instead, I'm going to give you an example from sometime later in my career. I was in my 15th year with Amgen, a biotech company that had a site here in Seattle. I was working in a job with people that I enjoyed and that I knew very well. It was here in the Pacific Northwest, which I had fallen in love with. Amgen was a financially stable company, and the role that I was in offered me well, I guess at the time it was novel, the opportunity to work remotely. At times, the job felt a little boring, and the path to advancement or to change directions within the company seemed almost impossible. But, I was comfortable with the job. Then came the news that Amgen decided to close its Seattle facilities. My comfortable place was being taken from me, and I was a little angry. I decided to take that anger and channel it into some action. So I went home that afternoon, and I immediately updated my resume. And I even sent it out and applied to a couple of other jobs in the area. The next day, I received an email from a former colleague of mine asking if I wanted to work at Juno Therapeutics. I immediately said yes, without even thinking. Within a week, I had an interview scheduled. I was working on the presentation that they had asked me to give to their scientists. And although I was really excited about the idea of a new job, the panic began to set in. I was thinking, what had I done? It had been 15 years since I had interviewed. Yeah, my interview suit, it had shoulder pads. The job in question was very different from what I had been doing. I was going from a company that had more than 10,000 employees to one with less than 100. I was going to go back to managing a group of scientists in the laboratory, something I hadn't done for 8 or so years. And finally, I started to realize that I didn't really know that much about the area of cell and gene therapy, which is what Juno was all about. So the doubts crept in. It was another moment in my life where I asked myself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? So I went into that interview. I wore business casual, not that old interview suit. I nailed the interview, got the job, and never looked back. That period of time was one of the most invigorating in my entire career. I was learning things every day, new things every day, about myself as a person, about myself as a leader, and about this new area of cell and gene therapy. I was hearing from patients who had taken our therapy as part of a clinical study and hearing the impact that it made on their lives. I was hearing from their family and friends who were so happy and thrilled that their family member was still here with us. Pretty powerful stuff. And while that experience was exhilarating and sometimes exhausting, I am so glad that I took the opportunity and took that leap, that I didn't let being afraid keep me from going into that interview. During those years at Juno, I was also introduced to my mentor and now friend, Mitch Shepard. She started me on my journey to become an authentic leader, to be me. That was instead of being the traditional leader that I had been molded to be, one where I needed to be dominant, decisive, loud, and I certainly couldn't let my own home life intervene during my time in the office. So instead, I learned how to lead with empathy, with humor, and with enough confidence in myself to be able to hire and surround myself with people who were smarter than I am at times and have the self-confidence to not have that bother me. To be curious about other people, to understand their uniqueness, and how to forge a relationship with them that left us both satisfied and inspired about our work. It feels good. It keeps me learning. And I don't spend energy pretending to be someone who I'm not. I learn to be myself, only better. Your careers will give you opportunities to learn about yourselves. They may not follow that straight path that you think today is the only path to success. I urge you to be intentional with your lives, but don't sweat the time that you spend on the side roads. Sometimes you'll take a job that you think is just perfect, that it's everything that you want, and then you'll find yourself realizing that the only thing that it's taught you is what you don't want to do. And while I might encourage you to learn that lesson quickly and move on to something else that you enjoy, don't spend time or emotional energy regretting that you learned something. I stand here in front of you as, and this is hard for me to say, as a success. And in my past, I actually took a demotion to get out of a job that I hated. In comparison to the evenings spent complaining to my husband about the job or shedding tears in frustration, instead of being present with my family, writing or updating my resume with that lesser title was way easier. Best choice I could have made. Backward was exactly the right decision at that time. Now, I'll close with a few quotesy sentences. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. The world needs all kinds of people, people who in their own way will work to improve the world we live in. Be brave. Ask yourself what you would do if you were not afraid, and find the answers. Embrace being uncomfortable and challenge yourself against the status quo. These are opportunities to learn about yourself. Be you, only better. Learn about the people you interact with and truly care about them. Learn new science and be passionate about sharing it. And finally, in the words of Ted Lasso, believe. Believe in yourself, believe in what you do, and believe in each other. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me? Yeah? Okay, tough act to follow. Thank you so much, Dr. Leach, for those words of wisdom and inspiration, and really, the idea of leading with empathy and leading with humor is something that I think should resonate with all of our graduates today. My name's Patrick Boyle. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Bioengineering, and it's my absolute pleasure today to be introducing our doctoral program graduates. So what I will do now is ask our graduating doctoral students to descend and get ready to walk the stage. And I'll also ask the faculty who are going to be hooding them to line up on my left. And I think my colleague, Professor Azadeh Yazdan, is going to be coming up to give the scroll. Hang on. Thank you, Dana Fay. Return to your seats. Forget that I just said anything like that. Holy smokes, did I ever screw that up? Okay. Let's run that one back. Chair Imokwede, you can definitely take a seat. Okay. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce the doctoral speaker today. And the speaker will be Dr. Natara Panpradit. Please come forth and address the audience.
Good day, faculty, staff, invited speaker, friends, families, and of course, my fellow graduating PhDs. Today, we celebrate you. Take a moment to reflect on what you have accomplished over the past few years. It's incredible to look back at how far each of us have come. My journey to today began 12 years ago when I decided to immigrate to the US to pursue a PhD in bioengineering with the goal to make healthcare accessible for all. Coming from a small town in Thailand, I could not have imagined these proud moments to be a part of my PhD journey. I was thrilled to publish first author papers, to be interviewed by the local news reporter about our research in HIV diagnostics, to stand before hundreds of investors to pitch an idea to win prizes to support my research, to give lectures in classes, to mentor undergraduate students, or to travel the world to present at the World Health Organization meeting in South Africa, and to implement our HIV test in Kenya. These are just my examples of how the UW bioengineering environment has cultivated our learning and growth. We are standing here today thanks to the support of our community. We did not do it alone. We had mentors who went above and beyond to enhance our education. We had collaborators and colleagues who supported us. We had families and friends who lent their ears and shoulders whenever we went through tough times. So remember to thank them. Even though our time here may come to an end, the lesson learned will guide us as we transition into the next steps. First, we learned the value of diversity and multidisciplinary collaborations. To solve the currently unsolvable health problems, we needed to work with people from different disciplines. I encourage you to continue reaching out and talking to people from different backgrounds. This conversation could open the door for future collaborations. As you know, developing healthcare technology is challenging, and it's even more challenging to transfer the technology outside the lab to make a real-world impact. Besides having to have intelligence and strong work ethic, technology developers like us need to seek advice from the key stakeholders. If developers and users share the same vision, we could increase the chance for a technology to be successfully implemented. Second, we learn resilience. Pursuing a PhD in the middle of the pandemic was not easy. We were challenged to do tasks that maybe seemed impossible at first. We worked hard day after day. We sacrificed, and along the way, we failed. We faced failed experiments, rejected manuscripts, and non-funded fellowship applications. But rather than focusing on those failures, we learned to bounce back and celebrate our progress, big or small. These failures are motivation to improve ourselves, not a reflection of lifetime incompetency. When facing challenges in the future, remember, you are trained to be mentally fit. Focus on the possibilities rather than obstacles. Last, we learn compassion. We are privileged to be graduating with a PhD in bioengineering, and we will take on roles as leaders. So remember to be kind, work with compassion, be thoughtful, recognize the emotion of people around you, and act on them. Give words of encouragement to others. Pay it forward by helping others when you can. To my fellow PhD classes of 2020, 21, and 22, congratulations. I am very proud and honored to have shared this journey with you, and I hope you will continue to embrace resilience, diversity, compassion, and gratitude in your next chapters. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Panprarit. And I apologize. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Now, it is my pleasure to invite the doctoral graduates and the faculty who will be hooding them to come down to the stage, as well as Professor Yazdan, who will be handing out the scrolls. So I was going to editorialize and say a little bit beforehand, thank you for your patience, and I was going to say, our students, I'm constantly thanking them for their patience, especially the undergraduates who we've been teaching over Zoom in large part for the past 2 years. So I suppose it's in keeping with the theme. All right, so are we ready? Have I missed any more steps? Okay, excellent. All right, now what about the name cards? I'm supposed to get the name. Oh, they're going to hand them to me. All right, let's do it. Our first graduate, please ascend to the stage, is Dr. Emmeline Cheng. Emmeline was supervised by Professor Susie Pun. I'm going to ask you to hold applause while I'm reading the names of the dissertations, and then you can applaud. So the title of the dissertation is Novel Aptamer Development for Cell Isolation and Targeted Drug Delivery, and Emmeline will be hooded by her supervisor, Professor Susie Pun. Now you may clap. Our second doctoral graduate is Dr. Thomas Hady, who was supervised by Professor James D. Briers, but will be hooded by Professor Kim Woodrow today. The title of Thomas's dissertation, Dr. Hady's dissertation, is Small Extracellular Vesicles from Porous Templated Scaffold Resident Cells Modulate CD4 positive T-cell subsets that promote a pro-healing host response. Congratulations, Dr. Hady. Imagine fitting that along the spine of the doctoral dissertation. Our third graduate today is Dr. Jamie L. Hernandez. Jamie was supervised by Professor Kim Woodrow, who will be doing the hooding. The title of Dr. Hernandez's dissertation is Translational Evaluation of Electrospun Drug Delivery Systems, Fabrication, Pharmacokinetics, and Tissue-Specific Host Responses. Congratulations, Dr. Hernandez. See, now we're really cruising along. Our fourth graduate is Dr. Molly Y. Malika. Dr. Malika was co-supervised by Professor Wendy Thomas and Professor Nathan Snidecki. The title of Molly's dissertation was Force Generation and Cytoskeletal Structure of Single Platelets. Congratulations, Dr. Malika. Our final graduate walking the stage today from the doctoral program is our speaker, Dr. Nattara Panprarit, whose supervisor and graduate mentor was Professor Barry R. Lutz. The title of Dr. Panprarit's dissertation was Development of Platforms for Detection of Single Nucleotide Polymorphisms, Applications on Pathogens, Genetic Diseases, and Beyond. Congratulations. So we'll proceed to a photograph on stage left of all involved in this part of the ceremony. I do want to say there are 8 more doctoral dissertation graduates whose names are in your program and their information. So please join me in giving them a round of applause, even though they're not here with us. Now, should we be on stage for the photograph? Okay. Now, I'm not going to mess it up this time. My next distinct pleasure is to introduce the master's program student speakers. Please approach the podium. And our speakers today, we're delighted to be joined by Maddalena Di Piazza and Ashik Raman.
Thank you. I first want to acknowledge our incredible program director, Soraya Bailey. If it wasn't for her mentorship, dedication, expertise, and patience, the MAB program would not be what it is today. She has made a huge impact on my academic career, and I'm sure many others as well. I would like to extend a sentiment of appreciation and gratitude from all of us. Thank you so much, Soraya. Soraya said something to the cohort on the very first day of orientation that really stuck with me. She said, being a bioengineer is a bit like being an architect. In a similar way, an architect brings together experts to accomplish a larger project. A bioengineer, you all, are the interface between scientists, designers, healthcare providers, and patients. Working on a team is really what we do best. This past year, I've had the privilege to work with all the amazing people in my cohort. It's been so exciting to see them pursue their individual interests. The amazing thing about being a part of a multi-talented group like this one is when you're stuck on a problem or don't know how to do something, there's probably someone in the room that does, and they're always willing to help you out. That's been my biggest takeaway from my time at UW. Don't be afraid to ask for help, to talk to experts, and to get out of your comfort zone. Ultimately, we now can all be the architects for our own futures as well. And I can't wait to see what we do next. It's been truly a pleasure to work with all of you and to get to call you all my friends. And it's also been a pleasure to share the stage with Ashik. It really would not be an MAB speech if it wasn't a bit of a team project.
Thank you, Maddie, and it's an honor to share the stage with you as well. It's amazing that this comes full circle because as Maddie talked about the first day of class, I'd like to talk a little bit about the last day of class. On that day, Soraya asked some of us how we felt leaving UW after calling it our home away from home for the past 5 years. At the time, I said I felt excited because I was tired of homework, exams, and most of all, paying for parking. As I sat down to write this speech, I thought about the question a little bit more, and I realized that these past 5 years have gone by so quickly. I thought about all the late nights studying in Faggy, jumping into Drumheller Fountain, TAing some of the most amazing students on campus, and of course, going to happy hour at Schulte's with amazing friends from the MAB program. All these memories were founded alongside some of the most brilliant and resilient people that I've ever met. Their resiliency was on full display throughout the pandemic as we've had to navigate online courses, capstone projects, social events, and so much more. So after so much reflection and still no idea how to answer Soraya's question, I figured I would do something I didn't get the chance to do too often in college. I went to bed without setting an alarm. Now, I know this doesn't sound like much, but when I think about how I feel leaving UW, I think about all the sacrifices we've had to make in order to get to this moment and whether it was worth it or not. I've now realized that it definitely is worth it because I wouldn't trade this adventure or the friends I've met along the way for anything. So before you guys go on your next big adventure, be sure to take the time to recognize all the accomplishments you've made along the way and thank all the people that helped you got here. Then, after graduation, make sure you find the time to do the things you've been waiting to do, whether that's something as big as checking off an item on your bucket list or something as small as going to bed without setting the alarm. So congratulations to you, Maddie. Congratulations to the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. We finally made it. And to the MAB class, we remember, it's always island time, baby.
Okay. Now, Azadeh is going to read the names, and I am going to hand out the magical scrolls. Okay. Do you want me to call them down? All the master's graduates? Okay. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Azadeh Yazan. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Bioengineering, and let's now invite all of our master students to please rise and come to the left of the stage. I think we can give them a round of applause. Oh, no. David Cooper. Aliyah De Schmidt. Jay Rahman. Now we're going to ask the master students to come back to the stage so we can all take a photo together. Now I want to ask Dr. Robbie Wong to come to the stage for our next graduates.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Dr. Robbie Wong. I'm an affiliate assistant professor in bioengineering, and I would like to invite the PharB graduates to please rise and come towards the stage. Christina Kachenka. Sarah Atkinson. Abby Dukianen. Kelsey Rushing. Alexandra Nicole Glandon. Kelsey Richardson. Samer Halabia. Okay, could I have the graduates please come back to the stage so we can do the group photo? This is just a small sampling of our graduates this year. We had 28, and from 2021 we had 21, and from 2020 we had 10. And now I'd like to ask Ms. Soraya Bailey to please come to the stage to introduce the Masters of Bioengineering program.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you can tell, we're all a little rusty. This is our first in-person since 2019, so it's really wonderful. I'd like to invite the Masters of Applied Bioengineering graduates to come down to the stage, please. The Masters of Applied Bioengineering is a one-year program, and as we heard from our students, it's a team-based and project course, project work. So I invite you to come on up. Our first graduate is Michaela Minton. Avery Freeney. Lindsay Fisher. Amnalpreet Mavi. Ethan Ng. Jay Huber. Ray Mackay. Vivi Yu. Tate Tong. Oh, you want to hug? Marley Koala. Do you want to hug, Marley? Ashik Rahman. And Madalena Di Piazza. Congrats. Thank you so much. And I'd like to invite all of the MAB graduates to come back on stage for our group photo. I'd like to invite Dr. Chris Niels to come and present the undergraduate students.
Thank you, Soraya. I would now like to introduce the Bachelor of Science student speaker, Timmy Vu Pham.
Hi, everyone. It goes without saying that we have an incredible group of students here. And honestly, I could spend all 4 minutes talking about how awesome they and their accomplishments are. Or to be honest, there are many quirks. But for now, I'll leave it at, I'm grateful to have been a part of your journey, and you're a part of mine. I wanted to bring everyone in this room back to the moment where we first were brought together. It starts with a blank screen on a laptop and a decision to write a short, to the point, neither overtly aggressive nor passively indifferent message to a group of 70+ strangers. In many ways, the speech is exactly like what I'm doing right now. What we were doing is exactly like this speech. Talking out into a crowd of unfamiliar faces, knowing that everyone has their own unique backgrounds, experiences, motivators, and stories. At that moment, all we wanted was a virtual nod or a smile back. The start of the pandemic was lonely, with most of us finding ourselves in our childhood bedrooms with no escape from our parents. And I will note that now as I look out and see all of the parents that you couldn't really escape us either, so apologies for that. As we entered core, we found something truly special. The advantage of the online environment meant that interacting with each other and meeting new people on a day-to-day basis was the norm. And through this, we were able to really accelerate our growth. Now, in all of this, we were looking for collaboration and teamwork, which is what we found. And in this process, we noted that challenging issues required this teamwork and collaboration, so we worked together and we were better for it. And in this process, we shifted our mindset from one of scarcity and competition, something that we had known far too well in our prerequisite classes, to one of collaboration and abundance. And I would just like to say that, again, we leveraged something called kindness, which I believe is a quality that is the backbone of the Department of Bioengineering. When I first entered this program, I was on the brink of failing biology, which, if you're looking at your brochure, or you look here, should be cause for concern. But I found a group of students who, for no apparent reason, decided to show up and help. And over the last 2 years, they never stopped. It takes this type of kindness to look beyond the events of the world today and say, right here in this moment, I'm here to help you out with this homework assignment, or I'm here to answer your question. And I think that this kindness is the root of our missions here in BioE. It's the reason we wake up to conduct research that could potentially improve somebody's life in the future. It's the reason why many of us aspire to be doctors or go into research and industry to make a tangible impact through product and innovation. The future of medicine need not be solely utilitarian. It can also be kind. The kindness that I encountered here in bioengineering was reminiscent of a kindness that I saw throughout my childhood. It's the same force that drove my grandparents, Gary and Lorene Christensen, to take in a young Vietnamese refugee who would end up being my father. It's the same kindness that allowed my mother to raise her children in the break room of her one-woman-owned hair salon. We all have these people in our lives. Let this graduation be a celebration of their kindness as well. Lastly, as we look to the present and to the future, we acknowledge the vast health inequities that permeate society. We recognize that there is no singular solution to structural violence, and that with a diversity of issue, we have to tackle it with a diversity of methods. To be fair, the world we're entering is fraught with tragedy, where a news headline can stop us in our tracks and connect us to an otherworldly feeling. There is no easy path forward, but that's exactly why we chose this program. As bioengineers, let us continue to practice kindness to those around us, to the patients we impact, to ourselves. Congratulations to the classes of 2022, 2021, and 2020. I am forever grateful for your contributions, and I thank you again.
Thank you, Timmy, for your enthusiasm, both in your speech and through all your years here. Right. I would now like to ask the undergraduates, the former undergraduates, the Bachelor of Science recipients, to rise, starting from the front toward the back, so those in the back stay in your baseline state of seated until the propagation of the standing reaches you, and then move toward your left down the row. Bring your cards with you. So you'll be sliding along the row. Note that this is more like cross-correlation than convolution, because you're not going to do the flipping thing. Be careful not to do that. So, as we read the names, I ask that the audience please refrain from clapping until the very end, when we will do so enthusiastically. So please, front row, rise. Come down. Good. All right, let's do a little batch processing here. So all those who are already standing, please come down. Those who are seated, we'll have you stand once we have some space here coming down the stairs. Wingyun Ao. Juliet Medina Maldonado. Delaney Wild. Caleb Vong. Rochian Rachel Hu. Brian Tran. Congratulations. Timmy Vu Pham. Leslie Martinez Rodriguez. Congratulations. Cecilia Watson. Hey, Cece. Congratulations. Natalia de Torres. Congratulations. Alex Bergstrom. Congratulations, Alex. Keith Lionel Tukey. Cameron Wenman. Abel Tsege Demoz. Congratulations. Tingyang Jia. Tony Fu. Eric Gary. Susanna Beeman. Anya Nicole Mesa. Tommy McCoy. Yeah, Tommy. Congratulations. Okay. William Sham Hoi Hong. Congratulations. Cameron Hoffman. Pranav Sarda. Congratulations. Braden Lovall. Cherry Winardo. Bhavika Saxena. Congratulations. Shreya Rajgopal. Congratulations. Cherry Leung. Congratulations. Go ahead. Agatha Karina May. Congratulations. Simranjit Kaur Sidhu. Marissa Ray Shoemaker. Lauren Keeley Holbrook. Kyla Blythe Yamashita. Sophia Jepson. Dana Commons. Rose Michelle Marsan. Tu Nok Bao Tran. Julia Swanson. Claire Marion. Ruby Lundy. Griffin Scott. Kelly Zhang. Kelly Chen. Mona Zhang. Sinclair Chandranaga. Freyana Kapadia. Jake Tebby. Sophia Tien Chang. Elson Wong. Kelly Ye. Laura Yu. Abe Wu. Rachel Shi. Jiancheng She. Jingyi Lucy Liu. Feiyu Chen. Thomas Dillon. Kat Matovalov. Suchitra Gopal. Matthew Tucker. Joanne Boyson. Anissa Ashraf. Isaac Orr. Karen Sujimoto Gaffney. Jameson Zebart. Tian Wen. William Carl Selbo Ojeman. Anirudh Saxena. Natalie Kai-Yi Yap. Anushri Koparam Ramanath. Mingyong Ji. Mariam Benazuz. Justin Dillard Telm. Arnaf Jolly. Emma Yiman Yip. Evan Yuanfei Yip. Do we have everyone down here? Looks like we do. Well done, everyone. Should we bring everyone back on this? Let's have some applause. All right. I think we're going to need more than 2 rows. Now, I also invite anyone who has been a member of this cohort but is not graduating because they're staying to complete other requirements, are welcome to come down and join their cohort mates for a photograph. Back to their seats, right? Now back to their seats, right? We'll take just a moment more for photographs from the audience.
Yeah, and then we're going to introduce the Bachelor of Science students of Bioengineering student video. The student video.
All right, and as the graduates return to their seats, I would like to thank Calais Combs, our graduate advisor, for her enthusiastic direction on the stage. And if your work in the photography studio is as great as it was here, I'll bet you have some wonderful baby pictures. All right, well, it is a tradition for students to create a video that sort of summarizes their year or years here, and so I would like now to introduce the Humans of Bioengineering graduation video.
Ready? Breathe in. Ooh, do that. Ready?
Cool. We ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Pascal, with Pascal. Anywhere he is, I'm happy.
Fantastic.
Describe the Yuga BioE community in one word.
Resilient.
Encouraging.
Supportive.
Spunky.
I would say silly goofy. Helpful.
Inquisitive.
Sedulous.
Encouraging.
I'd say we're dedicated.
What is your biggest BioE success story?
I'm proud of the bioengineering networking here, and I see a lot of opportunities.
We're working on an ALS monitor for our capstone, and we're trying to get it into hospitals and clinics for them to test it out on their patients.
Being able to do research for the last 3 years and being able to do my own individual capstone project where I get to learn a lot about what research is about and how to be a successful scientist, which inspired me to apply to graduate school.
So I finally get into a lab in my 4th year in UW, and I think that is a success for me.
I would say my proudest moment was taking the 336 exam with the textbook open and learning the material as I'm taking the exam.
Yeah, I'd say my greatest success was turning around like my understanding in biotransport too. Yeah, that was a topic that I did not grasp the first time around, but definitely the second time around it was a lot easier.
There's been a lot of successes and failures, but I think the ultimate ending was getting into graduate school, and so I'm excited to get my PhD in biomedical engineering.
The bioengineering program introduced me to my research lab that I work at, and that's been pretty successful for me, and I really enjoy my research.
I have been lucky enough to be part of the RSO, Bioengineers Without Borders, for 4 years, and I started as a team member, and now I lead the entire RSO, and it's been a very rewarding process to give others the opportunity to get hands-on experience in their field, and I've found that deeply enriching for my life in general.
I would say getting into the BSMS program is my success.
What's a quality that you've gained through your time at UW?
Persistence.
Courage.
Communication.
Personality.
And time management.
Resilience. Having trust in myself.
Teamwork.
I've gained a lot of gratitude for the people around me.
To be inclusive and open-minded.
Empathy.
I think is team working through different projects in homeworks.
Independence in conducting research.
Quality I've gained is definitely a newfound appreciation for time and every moment of every day.
From UW, I especially learned about perseverance and working hard.
I've definitely become more confident while in college, both in my identity and in my abilities.
Being supportive and patient to your friends.
I've definitely learned how to work on a team through Capstone and all of our group assignments. It's been really fun to get to an end goal as a team together.
Probably being adaptive to different environments. I think with the pandemic, you kind of had to adapt to a bunch of different changes.
I'm
mostly learned how to be more resilient while maintaining connections with my peers. I think that having that support network also really helped me in my time at UW.
Yeah, I guess just confidence in myself and confidence in my abilities.
I've learned the importance of diversity and meeting people from different backgrounds.
Do you have any impactful memories or stories?
When I started the BioE core program, it was completely online, and I really only knew one person in the cohort, just coincidentally because we had taken AMAP together. So Jameson is the one that introduced me to a group of friends that I can say I'm really close with now, Isaac and Anissa and Joanne. And I think I have him to thank, as well as them, for getting through BioE core. When I had COVID, which is not a fun time, all my friends, my BioE friends, has been really supportive, always asking me how I'm doing, and also keeping me on track of what's going on in class.
Senior capstone design symposium, and I don't know how I knew it was happening or like why I knew, but I remember skipping school that day. I was in high school, a senior. Skipping school, hopping on the light rail, and then getting to Faggy, and then just listening to a bunch of really awesome presentations and a lot of really cool science. And I just remember thinking, I gotta be there. Like, this is where I gotta be. This is where I gotta go. And
one of my favorite memories from BioE core is our last day of 315, where we all made paper bow ties and put them on and took a picture on Zoom.
So one of my most memorable BioE experience is during spring 2021. We hang out at like the Golden Garden Beach. It's like one of the first in-person event that I got to attend when I come in bioengineering major. I got to meet I was junior that year, so I got to meet the seniors and the sophomore. So it was totally awesome.
So during the pandemic over COVID, I was basically in Hawaii for like 2 years. And then I wasn't able to go into in-person labs. And Lauren Holbrook, who's my best friend in BioE, she basically would take me around on her laptop and keep me up to date on everything that was happening. And yeah, so thank you, Lauren.
In my freshman year, I thought that I could build an entire prosthetic hand in 3 weeks, and I was proven very wrong. I had to present all my failures in front of the class, and it was a really good learning experience, to be honest, and really humbling in my freshman year, and I think that gave me resilience.
Shreya and Marissa have literally been there for me throughout, no matter what time of the night or day or whatever time. I can call them anytime and they'll literally show up for me, so it's really nice having that supportive environment.
I think for me, getting into bioengineering without first being DTC was a really big accomplishment.
And I'm just happy I got to my master's program. And I got a Merit Scholarship, which is really nice.
Favorite memory of mine is grading finals from last quarter for BioE 336, and we bought boba for Dr. Saro to try, and it was not his favorite.
COVID, and then Kelly and I were both outside of the US, so we were in a different time zone, and Laura was very accommodative, and then so we had to do everything online and outside of class, and so I'm really appreciative of that.
I can't think of a specific time, but I feel like Suji has just been in all of my classes and all of my groups, and now we're neighbors, so she's always showing up somewhere.
Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank my family, friends, and mentors for keeping me grounded.
Thank you, all of you in my cohort, all of the professors, and my family too.
I'd like to thank my PI, Mike Apercue. He's really been there for me and has been pushing me throughout my research career.
To thank my friends and family. Without them, I wouldn't make it this far.
I want to thank Dr. Wan, who gave me the opportunity to do research in his lab.
Matthew Tucker and Jamie Siebert. We met in Bioengineering 215, and I feel like we've gone through this whole experience together.
My friends, my family, my wife. Yeah.
It's have to be my parents, my friends, people I've met along the way. It's my professors, my mentors. It's a long list.
I would like to thank my family. They were always there for me when I needed somebody to fall back on.
I'd like to thank my parents, sister, roommates, friends, and Dr. Niels for being one text away, whether it was coursework, job finding, or opening a locker door.
I'd like to thank all of the friends I've made here and my research mentor, Maylin.
My family and my capstone group, Ruby, Claire, and Jordan, for making capstone so fun.
I would really like to thank all of the friends I've made along the way. I think they really enriched my experience here. And also my mentor, Matthew Childers. He's been an amazing research mentor.
Family for allowing me to be here. Out of state is not cheap. And I'd like to thank my friends in BioE. They've made core really good, even though we had to do it through Zoom for over half of core.
I'd like to thank my parents, my brother, my girlfriend Hayao, all the wonderful people I met in BioE, as well as my PI, Dr. Rajesh Rao, and most importantly, my grad mentor, Samantha Sun.
My pet fish, if you know, you know everyone in BioExplore, and my lab, and Kelly and Lauren, and I really appreciate you all.
Family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my grandmom for being my biggest support system and my lifelines. And I'd like to thank everyone in the BioE department, right from all of my friends, to my professors, to my DAs. This journey wouldn't have been possible without you. And special shout out to my Bhavika Saxena and my Marissa Shoemaker. Thank you.
My PI, my mentor, my cohort, my family, my friends, everyone who has been supportive to me, because thanks to them I am here right now and I made it all through.
Folk Lab family, and Dr. Niels and Dr. Boyle for letting me TA my most favorite BioE classes, and also my friends. I have like a really long list, but it's not gonna fit in this video, so y'all know who you are. Thank you.
I want to congratulate all of you again on your great achievements and graduation from the department. And thank you to all your friends and family for joining us in this celebration. Now that you are alumni, I also want to invite you to stay connected to us and to stay tuned in to our LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook for the latest department news and upcoming alumni events. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all success and happiness in all your future endeavors and goals. You did it. Now, to close the ceremony, I'll ask all the faculty to stand and recess, and we'll be followed by the graduates and then followed by our guests. Thank you all again.